Alright guys, welcome back to today's video. In today's video, we're going to be looking at the 2024 election, specifically the Democratic primary, and how likely President Joe Biden is to win his Democratic primary as he is the incumbent. Now, taking a look here at the polling here from 538, we have President Biden here with a lead here, a commanding lead of having 60%. Now, Robert F. Kennedy, who was running previously, who and was gaining some support, he was at about 15 to 10% around that margin there. 10 to 15% was basically where he was. Now, he did stop running. He did actually quit running. And I actually made a video about RFK switching as an independent and its implications on the 2024 race. And I'm also going to take a look at that, how RFK dropping out of the Democratic primary is going to affect the 2024 race a little bit more in today's video. But I have a video about that. The link for that video will be in the description below. But anyways, RFK was at about 10 to 15%, so he wasn't really polling extremely high. Biden is at 60%. Now, RFK did switch to an independent since he obviously wasn't gaining much traction. You're not going to be able to unseat someone with 10 to 15% of support. So he switched to independent. Now, the thing about RFK is if RFK were to switch to an independent campaign, you might think that that would hurt Biden, right? Since obviously RFK was running as a Democrat and he had 10 to 15% of the support. So the 10 to 15% of support in the Democratic primary would go to his independent bid, and that would obviously hurt Biden. That's actually not happening. The fact of the matter is, RFK is very conservative on issues such as abortion. He's in favor of a 3 month abortion ban. He's also conservative on issues such as the vaccines. So he's very much conservative on that side. Although when it comes to policies such as the environment, he is much more to the left. So he's running an independent campaign because he has not gotten obviously his party's nomination, which he was in. Now, it is drawing more criticism from Republicans, though, because RFK is so conservative. So, taking a look here at, for example, an individual from the RNC said voters won't be fooled, and calling RFK a Democrat in independence clothing. That's a pretty good. That's a pretty very interesting nickname there. But Democrats in independence clothing, and a typical elitist liberal. And she said voters won't be fooled. Now, that being said, that does mean that they are obviously scared of RFK. The RNC is obviously scared of RFK because RFK is getting a lot of support from Republicans. In fact, if you look at a lot of polling data, and I'm not going to go over the polling data because I've already made a video over this. Again, the link for that video is in the description below. But he is taking more support from Trump than Biden. Although the video that I made, some polls show him taking more support from Biden than Trump. Although I do believe that when it comes down to the wire, RFK does appeal to a lot of conservatives. He has a lot of conservative policies compared to Biden, and on top of that, it appeals to that anti-Trump coalition the within the Republican Party there that is coming in here. So that's an article over that. Now, another individual who has announced that he's running for president, but actually hasn't gotten into the polls. Actually, now he hasn't been in this poll right now. Obviously, since he just announced. But Young Turks host Jen Huger launched a Democratic primary. Obviously, Marianne Williamson, if you don't know about her, she's obviously running in the Democratic Party. She's going to a maximum of about 5 to 6% in the polls. And she is much more progressive than Joe Biden when it comes to issues. And Young Turks host Cenk Uygur has similar policies as her, and he's announcing a primary bid against Joe Biden. So let's take a look at this. Cenk Uygur, now if you don't know who he is the founder basically of the Young Turks. It's basically the largest progressive media outlet in the United States, and he seems to be running for president. He's 53%. He said that Joe Biden is not going to win, and he said that it should not have been me who was running for president. It should have been someone else, but unfortunately, it was not anyone else. There's only 4 months left until the primaries begin. We must change course. He, when referring to Joe Biden, has a 10% chance of winning. Now, do I think Joe Biden has a 10% chance of winning? No, I think he has a lot higher percentage chance of winning than 10%. But anyways, 10%. I'm running as a proxy. I'm running to win, but I'm also running as a proxy for any other candidate. So I was actually listening to his announcement coming out. I don't want to include that in the show in this particular video, just in order to kind of break it down in a faster pace for you. But he basically said that if he gets to 20-25% in the polls within the Democratic primary, that'll make other Democrats who are well known in the Democratic Party, for example, Gavin Newsom, you have a lot of other ones, Governor Shapiro, all those other Democrats who are well known, those types of more progressive Democrats to jump into the race. And then Joe Biden will have a big enough primary. He'll get off the Democratic primary, and then another candidate will take over. That being said, first of all, there's a couple problems with that analysis. Number one, first of all, how is he going to get to 20 to 25%? Okay. Um, it's very difficult to get to 20 to 25%. Okay. Marianne Williamson basically has the same policies as Cenk Uygur, and she's basically at 5%. And also, Cenk Uygur did run for Congress 2 times actually, and he barely got anything. A lot of times when it comes to TV hosts and stuff like that, other than really Donald Trump, no TV host has actually run for president and actually won. Most of them just run and they get maybe maximum 10% of support. So I don't think that he's really going to win. He's really going to get up to 20%. Even if he gets 20%, I think that the Democratic establishment is still going to support Joe Biden. I think that Gavin Newsom will still support Joe Biden. Anyways, it's a long shot for Cenk Uygur. I don't think that he's really going to win. I think that he's more focused on, and again, if you really support Cenk Uygur, I'm just trying, don't shoot me the messenger. Okay, don't shoot the messenger. Okay, you got to get the message straight. Okay, I don't think that he's actually going to convince that many Democrats. And on top of that, I don't even know if he's running for president because of the fact that he said that if he gets to 20%, then other Democrats are going to start primarying Joe Biden. So in that, he's basically saying, I'm not really running for president. I just want to get to 20% in the polls. And on top of that, I don't know if he's actually going to go on a campaign trail and actually campaign. So it's kind of interesting here. He's a long shot candidate. That being said, he isn't actually born in the United States. He was actually born in Istanbul. Although he said that since he came to the United States and now he's a naturalized citizen, that he can run for president. And he said that that's obviously true. Although legal scholars can kind of debate that for yourself. But anyways, he's running for president. He's primarying Joe Biden. But anyways, what's my analysis here? Well, my analysis is that Joe Biden is probably going to win the Democratic primary. I'm sorry if you hate Joe Biden. I'm sorry if you mildly like Joe Biden, but I'm sorry, but Joe Biden's going to win the DNC nomination. Okay, I'm sorry if Michelle Obama. I don't think she's going to run. If you're I don't think Michelle Obama is going to run for president. Okay, I'm not saying that I'm a right winger or a left winger. I'm just saying Michelle Obama's not running for president. Okay, people are saying Michelle Obama's going to run for president. She's not going to run for president. Barack Obama, he's out. He can't even run for a third term. I think that Joe Biden is basically going to get this nomination. He's polling at 60%. Okay, that being said, Trump's even polling at like 56. Really, when you look at the polling, RFK was at 15, 17%. You got to think about this. Ron DeSantis is basically at 15 to 17% in the polls. So you got to think the Democratic primary right now is almost polling at the same level. The frontrunner in the Democratic primary is basically polling at the same level as the frontrunner in the Republican Party, even though the Democrats are having an incumbent. Okay, Robert F. Kennedy is polling at 15 to 17%. Ron DeSantis is the second frontrunner, and he's basically polling at the same numbers. That being said, there's a larger base within the RNC with regards to the amount of candidates. You don't have just one or two candidates; you have a lot more. But you can see how really the Republican primary is also going to Joe Biden, to Donald Trump, and the Democratic primary is going to Joe Biden. I believe that both of these guys are going to get their nomination. They're going to secure their nomination with at least 50 to 60% of their party support. Okay, I believe that. That's what's going to happen. Donald Trump and Joe Biden. So my final take on this: Joe Biden's going to win the nomination. Okay, guys. I know if you're a liberal and you just don't want Joe Biden, if you're like a progressive, hard left progressive, and you don't want Joe Biden to be the nominee, okay, I'm sorry, but he's going to be the nominee. If you're a moderate Democrat who's happy with what Joe Biden's done, then you should be pretty happy with this. But I don't think Joe Biden's going to get a big primary. I don't think Joe Biden's having a big primary coming for him. I think that he's going to get his party's nomination. Gavin Newsom hasn't really said whether or not he will run. He said basically that he's not going to run at this point. Michelle Obama has already said that she's not going to run for president. I'm sorry if that really hurts you that Michelle Obama's not going to run for president if you're a right winger. I'm not saying that I'm a left winger or a right winger, but I'm just saying Michelle Obama is not going to run for president. I'm sorry. I know Ted Cruz got that idea going, but Michelle Obama is just not going to run for president. Now, do I think Michelle Obama should run for president? Yes, I think Michelle Obama should run for president. I think that if Michelle Obama runs, she'll easily get out of Joe Biden. Michelle Obama is extremely popular. She's extremely popular. Michelle Obama is basically at the height of popularity. The most popular first lady in the 21st century, most likely. She's way more popular than Laura, than Melania, than all the first ladies. If she runs for president, she is basically on a path to beating Donald Trump. If it was her versus Joe Biden. Do I think she's going to run? No, I don't think she's going to run. But here's the map. Here's basically where we're headed in the polls. I think Joe Biden is going to win the Democratic nomination. I think that he's going to win. I don't think Cenk Uygur is going to win. I don't think RFK. RFK is going to pull away support from Biden and Trump. Either way, you can make your decision regarding that. But guys, like this video, please hit the subscribe button, comment down below, like. I'll see you guys in the next video, guys. And help the algorithm because we only have a few subscribers on this channel, and every subscriber is helpful for independent media, independent journalism, and that's what we have here at Let's Talk Elections. And I'll see you guys in the next video.